What's up, everyone? This is Lan here with another episode of Cheeseheadz Weekly. It's good to be with you. Haven't been here for I don't know how long now. It's been way too long. This is episode 30. This is Tuesday, but it's 2 weeks from when I did the last episode, or I guess a little less since I was late last time. Skipped a week. I just did not have time to do it and didn't feel like trying to make time. Um, I really didn't have any time for one thing, so the episode would be rushed, not very well done, and to be honest, this one might not be either. But we're gonna do a lot of different topics today. Obviously, I didn't get to recap the Packers' first preseason game last week like I was going to do until my week got completely full. So I do have some evenings open here now. And so we're gonna try to do this. I did tease something 2 weeks ago that I was going to do. Well, first of all, this is going to be I'm testing out doing a video podcast episode here. We'll see how this goes. Either way, the audio is still going to be the same. So either way, we'll still have the audio out, but I'm thinking about maybe posting them on YouTube if it's not too much extra work just to film it as well. We'll see how that goes. So before we get into the show completely, the show is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. We have the Q&A and polls on Spotify. You can check that out. Those are a lot of fun for some discussion and things. Also, you can send in a voice message by clicking on the link in the description. It's in the description of every single episode, every single platform. So you can check that out. That's always a lot of fun just to get those and to get the feedback and just anything you have, questions. They're a lot of fun. I've only received 2 of those since the show started, so you'd be number 3. Um, so yeah, I'm not going to be doing a preview today. I didn't get it done. Didn't get the research done for that, so that's not going to happen. But we will get into some other things. Like I was going to say, I teased last week. We're going to talk about running backs a little bit in the current running back situation. This is sort of a fun topic, or maybe not a fun topic for a lot of people, especially if you happen to be a fan of a team, that has a star running back like the Colts, for instance, and it's just rough. It really is. So we're going to kind of try to go over this. We just did get some news that on the Taylor front, but I'm going to kind of try to start from the beginning and see how far we go. And then after that, we'll go preseason, recaps of preseason for the Packers, and maybe talk a little bit about expectations for the coming season. We'll see how far we get. So, starting at the beginning, there were 3 running backs, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, and Jonathan Taylor. Those were the main 3 that had really good seasons. Last year, but it was their contract year. They were going to be free agents. Their teams each placed the franchise tag on them. But the running backs, obviously, they're wanting long-term contracts. So Pollard signed his franchise tag right away. Obviously, he was still looking for a deal to get done. At this point, it does not look like a deal is going to get done, so he is set to play the season on the franchise tag. He didn't put up too big of a fuss, which, in my opinion, that's great. You got to keep football. You got to put your team in a good position to win, stay in shape and everything. I think Pollard did that. Obviously, he doesn't want to do this, but you realize just the whole running back market as of now is kind of in shambles. there's not a whole lot happening, just on that front right now anyway. No one's really getting really highly paid. Miles Sanders did get a fairly nice 3-year deal with the Panthers, but recent running back deals have not turned out. I'd say Derrick Henry is the best example of a running back getting big money that is working out. Christian McCaffrey got big money. That seems to be working out pretty well. But Ezekiel Elliott also got big money. He is no longer on the Cowboys. So kind of just not much of a market for running backs. And I understand what running backs are thinking, or maybe they're just being completely selfish. But if you think about it, they are taking lots of hits being running backs. That's just kind of the way it is for running backs. It seems like they should be paid more than some of the other positions. They're just not really a premium position. The league has gotten more pass happy as of late. You got lots of other pieces on your team, and to pay that you want to keep around more higher priority than running backs. Running backs tend to get injured more often. They don't have near as many prime years of football like receivers would, or many other positions in football. So that's just it's a rough spot for a running back to be in. There's also a lot of running backs. It feels like you can be a pretty successful running back. There's a good many of them that will come into the league. They'll have a good year or two for their team. Their team will move on. They'll find someone else. Obviously, some running back rooms are better than others, and the ones that are the best are normally the ones where the running backs are willing to take less money. And yes, I'm talking about the Packers running back room. I will get to Aaron Jones in a second. He's somewhat of a unique situation. Um, but as of right now, that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about the disgruntled running backs here at the moment. So, like I said, Pollard, kind of, he understands he's not really where he wants to be exactly, but he kind of understands the business, understands, kind of it's just what it is. He's going to take it. He's going to go out there and play and try to help his team win some games here this season here for the Cowboys. So now we get to, I'm sorry, did I say Jonathan Taylor was one of the free agents? He's a little bit of a unique situation actually because he was not a free agent. He's going into a contract year this year. So we'll get to him in a second. Saquon Barkley would be the other one that was a free agent, and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs did not report OTAs to anything, at least if I'm remembering this right. Did not report to anything. I believe Barkley also was not reporting to anything. I don't remember when he signed his franchise tag. Josh Jacobs, as of now, has not signed his franchise tag, but there is a report that he's expected to sign it before week 1. Hasn't been a training camp or anything in the off season so far. Looking for that long-term deal. Doesn't seem like the Raiders are, wanting to give money to him. So he'll be out there week 1. It sounds like sign it before then, but again, doesn't look like a long-term deal is happening there either. If we're going to talk about Saquon Barkley, he was seriously considering sitting out part of the season. Of course, we did hear Le'Veon Bell fairly recently told someone. I read an article, and he said he regrets. Probably was pretty stupid, selfish of him, whatever, to sit out the season. Well, it did not benefit him anything after that. He was completely done. He's out of the NFL now. So really, if you're a running back, you kind of just gotta accept the way it is, and you gotta move on. You can't just hold grudges, especially if you're a running back, because one, you're not likely to get paid by holding out and stuff, and two, you're not helping your team. You're not helping yourself by not being there. Team chemistry, you're not being a team player. You're just not. Okay. If you're not there for practices, you're not going to be able to help your team win as much as if you are there for all the practices and everything. Um, so yeah, Saquon Barkley finally, he seemed very unhappy. He seemed very unhappy for sure. Was thinking about sitting out the season, acting like, everything kind of revolved around him. He's like, yeah, well, it might be just what I have to do. You don't have to do that. You could go play on the franchise tag and go from there. They just want to have that security of being under contract for a few more years, and I get that. But at the end of the day, if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, and you just got to take what you got. I mean, that's still substantial money playing on the tag. It's what 10 million or so for this year, which is not horrible for a running back. That's just what you're gonna have to go with. So Saquon Barkley didn't sign the tag. Yeah, sorry. He was holding out stuff. He had never signed the tag. But then he came back on kind of an interesting 1-year deal type thing. They just gave him a 1-year deal that maybe gave him a little bit more money than on the tag or something. Not sure the full details of that. And Barkley, in the end, obviously wasn't very happy. It wasn't exactly what he wanted, but he decided he's going to do that and come back and play football, which in my mind is a good decision. So on to Jonathan Taylor now. He's been looking for an extension, and Colts have been pretty open. I mean, Jim Irsay, the owner, has been pretty much, we're not paying you. Jonathan Taylor, it's kind of just set him off, it really ticked him off. He was, holding out. Eventually he reported the training camp though. But then when he came to training camp, he was kind of a little bit, well, let me think here. I think he requested a trade the day he reported the training camp. Then he was complaining at training camp, complained of issues associated with his surgically repaired ankle. He failed his pre-camp physical. He was placed on the PUP list. He is still on the PUP list, which is not a great sign. It kind of tells you why the Colts aren't willing to pay him. So really, he's sort of holding in. I'm not sure. It's possible he would maybe be able to play. And then he's been leaving training camp. First time he went to seek outside therapy for his ankle, and then he went to attend to a personal matter. I believe he was excused for that one. Yeah, Irsay publicly came out and said we're not trading you when he requested a trade. Taylor never rescinded his trade request. He was still hoping that a trade would happen, and it's possible maybe he's not able to play. I don't know. Maybe he's just unhappy, kind of doing a hold in type thing. Just doesn't want to get fined. I'm not sure. But anyway, it just now came in that the Colts have now granted Jonathan Taylor permission to seek a trade. But they want significant compensation for him, according to separate sources. They're looking for a first-round pick or a collection of picks that equates to one. So no offer has materialized yet. Teams are weighing what fair value looks like in a potential deal for Taylor. I believe I might have saw a headline that the Dolphins are expected to look in to trading for Taylor. I'm not sure how far they're going to get into that. I'm not sure they're going to be willing to give them that much, but they're going to look into it. And yeah, so things have escalated. Jim Irsay said that they had not made any contract offers to Taylor at one point last month, and Taylor just has not been happy since that, really. So, yeah, he kind of wanted that contract stability. So now that brings us to Aaron Jones, who is the epitome of a great running back in the NFL, both on the field and off the field. Here's why. Aaron Jones, well known for his talents. He's been great on the field, especially since Matt LaFleur took over, knows how to use him. Just, with that 1-2 punch with A.J. Dillon, keeping him fresh, keeping him from not getting hurt too much, not giving him a huge workload. And the Packers, realized how valuable a player he is off the field, too. Just an amazing teammate, great for the locker room. Supports his guys. He's been off the charts. Just supporting Jordan Love now since Rodgers left. He said himself that, like lots of the other Packers vets, that he wanted Rodgers to come back, but he was totally fine with Love, with them making Love the starter, trading away Rodgers as well, and he has been behind Love every step of the way, as have other Packers teammates. I mean, that's just a testament to Love's leadership and just his command and taking over as the starting quarterback. But I believe Aaron Jones, his contract expired, his rookie contract, I believe, but the Packers soon after that were able to get another 4-year deal done, which at that point was considered a bargain. He didn't make him the highest paid running back or anything. Paying him, I believe it was $40 million over 4 years or so, somewhere in that range. Yeah, it was viewed as, kind of a good deal for the Packers. Now Aaron Jones has taken another pay cut to begin this year because he wants to be on this team. He wants to help them win. He understands that they're a little tight, salary cap wise, could use some extra cash, and he's willing to stay around. Like, it was generally considered, his cap hit rose a lot for the last 2 years of his deal. He's playing now the third year of his deal, took a pay cut so he could stay because, again, the cap hit really rises for him, and he wanted to stay on the team. And by the way, a lot of these guys are like, oh, yeah, we want to stay with our team. We just want big money. That's not – if you really want to stay on your team, you just got to not take money. It's really NFL players can really be split into two general categories. The category where they want to win. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Team player. They just want to win. They're trying to win. Other players are in the NFL for the money. They want money. And they'll play on bad teams just to get lots of money. So Aaron Jones loves Green Bay. I said multiple times he wants to stay in Green Bay. Even with the QB switch, he's still in Green Bay, still willing to take a pay cut. Aaron Jones is an amazing running back and is right now my favorite player on the Packers team because of that. Lots of players in the NFL have egos right now, huge egos, and that's just a problem for teams trying to win and trying to keep players to help them win when they don't have a ton of cash to just hand out, So, really big fan of Aaron Jones. As far as the current running back situation, running back market, is it the NFL's fault? Is it the running back's fault? I mean, to me, the fact that running backs aren't getting paid is just the way it is. The NFL is changing. The market's the way it is. That's just what it is right now. There's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do to be able to pay running backs more. Like I said, it's becoming more of a pass-heavy league. So you're just running backs. You just kind of got to accept it, And if you're a really good player on and off the field, like Aaron Jones, you're willing to help the team win. You'll get some money, certainly enough to make a living. Maybe not as much as you want, and you don't have to play in the NFL. You can go out of the NFL and get another job that's not as dangerous and still make a good bit of money. So really, if you're going to play in the NFL, you got to just come into the NFL expecting this is what it's going to be, and it is what it is. You just got to kind of accept it, and I'm really not a fan of guys like Jonathan Taylor right now, just being really unhappy with their situation. So let's get into, get out of the weeds there, and let's go to the Packers preseason. I'll briefly recap their first game. Obviously, that's probably not fresh on your mind, but I'm going to kind of go over 3 players of the game and then 3 players that I want to see more from. Players of the game. Number 1 on the list, running back Emmanuel Wilson. This guy came out of absolute nowhere and got 6 carries for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had a huge highlight. This guy came out of absolute nowhere. 6 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. His highlight of the night, an 80-yard touchdown run where he just made an amazing cut, bouncing it to the outside, showed great vision, and then just outran everybody. I had no idea that Emmanuel Wilson had that much speed. He is an absolute burner. And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a reel there of that run. Absolutely amazing run. And yeah, just really, really great run. And yeah, and also had another nice touchdown run of 11 yards and another big run. Again, was wiped out by penalty, so he could have had even more. Emmanuel Wilson's definitely going to definitely put himself in the mix for the running back 3 spot. But the question is whether he can be a value in pass pro and special teams. Number 2 is cornerback Carrington Valentine. This guy has been showing up, showing out all off season long, mini camp, OTAs, training camp, now the preseason. He had 3 pass breakups in this game against the Bengals, 1 interception. Another highlight, he showed up in run support at one point, beat a block, and dropped the running back for no gain. What a play by Valentine, and he has just been showing up. And it looks like the Packers may be forced to try to get him on the field, as crowded as that room is, with Douglas, Alexander, and then, Stokes coming back at some point. Should be interesting to see how that cornerback room shakes out. At the moment, though, I do think Douglas and Alexander will be outside corners, Keyshawn Nixon in the slot. Quarterback Sean Clifford impressed very much. Went 20 for 26, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions with an 80.3 passer rating. He also ran twice for 27 yards. 1 interception wasn't his fault. He threw it in there. Kraft had it, but then kind of let the defender rip it out away from him. Couldn't finish the catch. We'll talk about him a little later. Sean Clifford exceeding expectations. And looks like he's locked in as the backup quarterback behind Love. as the team did release Danny Etling, and I'm very much excited to see what he can do. And I think, the Packers have a chance to continue winning, even if they lose Jordan Love to an injury, I think. So, and now might give me more players. Devontae Wyatt, defensive lineman, projected to be a starter, very quiet in week 1 and also in week 2. I would like to see a lot more of him. He's been flashing during training camp, but kind of didn't show much in both preseason games so far. I'd like to see a little bit more. Outside linebacker Lucas Van Ness, rookie, their first round pick. Very quiet also in preseason week 1. He did improve and have a little bit, made a few more plays in week 2. But I'd like to see even more from him, obviously, as well. But their depth is good. I'm not terribly worried about this. I'm more worried about Wyatt. But Van Ness, I'd like to see more from him, I see him continue to take steps in his development, and we'll see what he can do in week 3 here in preseason finale. And tight end Tucker Kraft, obviously, he kind of dropped that pass, gave up the ball to the Bengals for the interception. Yeah, kind of a rough night for him, and it showed, how tough it is for tight ends to develop. So I'm not hugely concerned about this one either. It's just going to take time. But yeah, he has some areas to improve, and I think he can do that. Lots of fun stuff. In week 2, number 1 player of the game, Jordan Love. Now, I'll talk about Jordan Love in both these games. I thought he improved from week 1 to week 2, and here is why. Week 1 was pretty good. Played 2 series. The first one, I believe, he had a first down throw. But then just on another third down attempt, completely missed the wide open Luke Musgrave. Luke Musgrave, by the way, has been showing up like crazy, has been open a lot, has been really showing good effort, and made a few nice blocks in the run game. But especially as a pass catcher, he's been open, and but Love seems to have trouble throwing to him for whatever reason. That seems to be kind of an issue. His passes to tight ends have not been the most on the money plays. Not a huge concern. I think he can clean that up, but obviously something to keep your eye on. Completely missed him on a wide open, really bad looking pass. Had Colin Cowherd all up in arms, but you want to know what the good stuff is? Pretty much everything but that. He was very confident, looking calm, poised in the pocket. Did not look panicked or rattled at any point. Obviously, he only played 2 series, but by the way, pass protection is really great in both games. I thought they did a really great job protecting Love and giving him clean pockets, but the few times he did deal with blitz, he handled them well. Just showed lots of poise, and just at one point he did chuck a deep ball down the field. Really good, really nice throw to Christian Watson. Just was broken up. Safety Dax Hill for the Bengals really made an awesome play on that ball. It was a great throw, and he went down the field eventually and threw a touchdown pass to Romeo Doubs, which was a thing of beauty. But on to this week. By the way, if you want to get credit a little bit to Dusty Evely, he's on YouTube. He does Packers film rooms, and he's been doing some film. I watched a video of him going over every drop back from Jordan Love against the Patriots here, week 2. I thought that was really great, and you definitely should watch that. Again, it was sort of up and down, but he had an amazing throw to Romeo Doubs down the field. I won't get too much into the details because we are starting to run out of time, but amazing throw. Originally rolled incomplete. Matt LaFleur challenged it. I thought it did look incomplete. I still wasn't able to find a really great angle of that, but I mean, it did really. Apparently, Romeo Dobbs did a neat little toe drag, managed to stay in. It was really great. Awesome catch, awesome throw, and then he hit probably his play of the day. I'd say hit Jaden Reed perfectly. Going across the field, and he uh, looked was leading him across the field. Had the first window, uh, kind of two windows where he could try to throw it to Reed. He wanted to throw it the first one, did kind of half pump fake, got the linebackers to sit on it. Thought maybe he was going to try to throw it to him in there. It wasn't there, obviously, kind of half pumped. You know, keeping the linebackers there, and then leads Reed over into the next area. Throws it to him. Reed turns upfield very nicely, makes a man miss into the end zone. Very nice play. Played 3 series in that game. There was a botched snap I won't get too much into. That was on Myers, though, not on Love. So, and then, I don't know, Sean Clifford. It's hard to know what to do for the players of the game there in week 2 because there's so many, especially on offense. But number 2, I'm going to say J.J. Enigbari. This guy had himself an amazing night. He looks like he's taking a big step, and he was not a bad player last year either. Yeah, really, really great performance by him. Made a really nice move, sacked Mac Jones. Later came, strip sacked him, recovered the fumble himself. An amazing play by Enigbari, creating a turnover for the Packers. He's looking really awesome going into the season. And I'd maybe put Sean Clifford. He had another really great performance. I could put in Malik Heath. He had a really great performance. I'd probably just put in Romeo Dobbs. He had a really nice catch for a first down that was a perfectly placed ball by Jordan Love. But, pretty good coverage on the play, too, and Love just plucked it out of the air in front of his body. Made a really nice grab with a defender right there. And obviously the deep one, where his two receptions, and really great day from Romeo Dobbs, showing that Dobbs Love connection is alive and well, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, might give me more players. I haven't looked too much into this, but Devontae Wyatt is on the list again. Was quiet again, and we really do need him to step up here on the defensive line. Defensive line, I think, has done better than I have expected them to. But against the run, I think, is going to be the main concern. But they have been getting a consistent push overall, and hopefully they can keep that up. Carl Brooks, Kobe Wood, and the 2 rookies have been doing really well. They look like they're ready to go right now. They've just been consistently making plays. I guess that is all for today. I'll try to catch you back up later. Maybe we'll do our NFC West preview, and then we have the North to do yet too. Hopefully we can get those done at some point, but that's all for this episode. Be sure to rate the show, follow the show if you haven't already. Tell your friends about the show, get the word out. Check out my website at greatcove.net/cheeseheadz, and you can follow the podcast on Instagram at cheeseheads_weekly. And that is all for today. Thank you all for listening, and I will try. I should have time. I'm not planning on trying to skip weeks again. Just don't completely leave the show if I happen to, because I'm going to keep doing it, and I will announce if I happen to have to stop the show, which I don't see happening in the foreseeable future. So thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.